Indeed, we are Plus TV, and big stories really do live here. Today, we take the conversation to a whole new level. First, with an individual I have found it so difficult to resist. He is such an inspiration. Kunle Adeyanju, popularly known as the Lionheart, joins the show today after a breathtaking adventure on his bike to Obudukatu Ranch. We shall x-ray the power of tourism, turning passion into prosperity with him. You do not want to miss out on that conversation. Now, the advantage which Agile provides, plus all that we need to know about its prospect, is a conversation I'm anxiously waiting for when Edu Ekpo, the CEO, Scrum Consult, and business coach joins us. He is as restless as they come, constantly looking for new territory to capture. My friend and brother, Dr. Raphael James, founder and Director General, Center for Research, Information and Development, is my last guest today on the program. He will be sharing his perspective on the topic, A Legacy for Tomorrow, Preserving Nigerians' Rich History. I can't wait to unpack all of this, but we must take another quick break to set the stage for our very first guest, Kunle Adeyanju, who's already seated. Please don't go anywhere. All right, you are watching The Family Show, a program tailored to touch every aspect of your life. If you just tuned in, you are just the one we are waiting for. Now, the Lionheart, Kunle Adeyanju, is an ardent motorcyclist, a daredevil adventurer who has skydived, he has bungee jumped, he has jet skied, or on an Indian Ocean, he's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro twice. He's rode his bike from Lagos to Accra and back to Lagos in just 6 days. In the year 2022, our guest was on the road again, this time riding from London to Lagos. Kunle Adeyanju is a widely traveled Nigerian who has visited over 85 countries around the world, recipient of the coveted Federal Government of Nigeria Diaspora Merit Award, Ambassador Nigerian National Polio Plus, author, entrepreneur, and life coach. It is time to talk. The power of tourism, the power of tourism, turning passion into prosperity, with the man behind the Lionheart Foundation, which is a charity organization that's focused on education, health, environment, and community development. Let's meet Rotarian Kunle Adeyanju, the Lionheart.
Thank you, Helen.
The Lionheart. The Lionheart. You know, I said at the beginning that you're a man that I find so irresistible, because you're a man of so many parts. You know, each time we get to meet you, there's something new we're unraveling. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to start with asking you to share your experience, you know, with us. Why Obudukatu Ranch, and how did you find this new adventure?
Well, why Obudukatu Ranch? I actually have this, idea about touching everywhere in Nigeria. You know, all the beautiful places we have in this country. I've been, let me use the word opportuned, to go to almost about 90 countries around the world. And I've seen that quite a number of these places you go through, they don't even have what we have in terms of the beauty of nature and the kind of, nature's landscape in some of these places. But Obudukatu Ranch, why? Is because I've been to a couple of other places. I still have some in my bucket list I haven't gone through, but it was time then for me to tick off Obudukatu Ranch. So that was why I went to Obudukatu Ranch. I went with 4 of my friends, we were 5. We decided to ride a motorbike from Abraka, that's in Delta, so to Obudukatu Ranch. And, prior to going for the ride, actually, normally like what I like to do, I don't like the word fearless. I'm not fearless. I have fear, but I'm courageous. Okay. because if one is fearless, like you're a brute, one is just like, you just go there and just do it without thinking about the consequences.
Yes.
But when you're courageous, you say to yourself, okay, if I'm not careful, I can die in this process. But what are those things I need to do to not die in the process of why I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do? So I'm that kind of an adventurer. That's how I look at things. So I like the word courageous. So, and we went online to read a lot about Obude Cattle Ranch, the road. There were a lot of negative comments about, the state of the roads, security situations, everybody seems to just be writing, probably maybe, looking at it now, I think a lot of people probably just sat down in their study or in their houses or in their offices and just write, reviews and feedback without actually being there. So when we were gonna leave, we left about 8 o'clock in the morning from Abraka. And the thinking was we're gonna get to Obude Cattle Ranch probably maybe like about 8 in the night because we read about the state of the road in a deplorable condition. But when we hit the road, it wasn't what we saw. The road was good and we were just tearing up the road and just...
The road was good for the bike rider or
even
the road
the car
is good? Okay.
For the car, the road is good. The distance from Abraka to Obude Cattle Ranch is actually about, let's say 650 kilometers. And if I can remember quite well, the section of the road, the occasional washout here and there, erosion washout, maybe less than 10 kilos was bad across the entire stretch. So to me, that is quite okay. So we had a smooth ride down. The road was nice. Actually, there's a particular section of the road which I actually really like. Okay. Why I like that is...
We've seen you. And
okay, yes. That was riding the twisties of the Obude Mountain Resort.
Okay.
So yeah, this is actually one of the reasons again why I like it. This is a twisty. It's a twisty road that takes you to the top of the mountain. So if you're a biker, it gives you opportunity to bank. Okay. Bank is, leaning into the curves and leaning out.
Right.
It's exciting, but it's a lot of work. It, pumps up your adrenaline. So those kind of things you like. Wow. So yeah, on the section of that road between Abakaliki and Ogoja, there is a section of about 65 kilometers of that road. If you want to bank, I've been through a number of roads in Nigeria, but I've not seen a road that has so much banking angles like that road. So really, if you go to some countries, people go to those kind of roads just to test their banking skills, to ride it. I remember I was in Mali one time with the Malians, and they said, let's ride towards Guinea-Conakry to go and bank.
Just to go and bank?
Enjoy the road and stuff like that. But this is what we have here. So the thing is, we need to talk about things like this. We need to promote our tourism potential. I mean, you can imagine if the Malians, we went together to Guinea-Conakry, which is almost close to about 1,000 kilometers to spend some days there. We're going to spend money there. We're going to buy food. We're going to stay in a hotel. We're going to eat. So we're pumping money into the economy.
True.
The banking, the road was an attraction for us. We have the same thing here.
All right, so this is an opportunity for you to set up something bigger with your friends, and maybe this time have a festival or some kind of movement that would take as many as 50 bikers to Obude Cattle Ranch, bringing them from outside of Africa and outside of the world, other parts of the world.
I quite agree with you. That's it. Actually, you see, something like that is happening locally now. After our experience in Obudu, we share the story, the video and everything. And I've been hearing around circles, people discussing, we need to go to Obudu in March. Almost like about 100 or 50 bikers are going to be on the road there. Wow. Then also we use the opportunity also to discuss with the new management of Obude Cattle Ranch. And we said to them, okay, we would like you to put in something as an incentive to attract bikers to come here. Because if these people come, the stories they share is going to sell your business so much more better for you.
So you must give something back.
Yes, the management agreed and they said, okay, for bikers, as long as these bikers are coming as a biker, we're going to give 10% discount across board, not only rooms. They're feeding everything, 10% discount for bikers, which is quite remarkable,
All right. And so even the aspect of getting to know more about the people of that area is another thing that we will have to talk about later on if we have the time. Okay, so let's go back to tourism and your inspiration and passion for that business. How did it come about?
Well, I think as a child, I can't remember quite well, but they told me I was troublesome when I was a kid. I don't know
Restless.
how. I was restless. And I remember when I started growing up, my parents actually played a key role in this. Because, as a boy in secondary school, primary secondary school then, my parents, my mom, my dad always made it a point of duty. Every weekend, they must take us to a tourist site.
Oh.
We go see something. I remember then as a boy in Kano, we'll go to Tigadam. They'll take us to Bagauda Lake Hotel. Okay, you need to go and swim. You need to go and do this. Okay, let's go on rafting or on canoeing on the dam. So all those kind of things tend to, sort of open up my mind. This is actually what you love doing. So I think that is actually where the seed was sown. We all have that seed between us. Now, when we get exposed to some of these things, it's like watering the seeds. Yeah. So when the seeds get watered, it now depends on you. You allow it to germinate, or you just want to keep it there. Okay. So when those seeds in me were watered by the experiences my parents took me through, then I found I love to do things like this. Then it now became me, my responsibility to actually take it on. And I find pleasure in it. It's like fulfillment. Yes, we work so hard to gain a lot of things that we have worked for. But, sometimes when you work, and you see people get to the peak of their career, peak of the mountain.
You ask what next?
Saying, is that all there is?
Yeah.
But why? It's because you are just focused on working, but you were not living. Probably you were just existing. So for me, I don't need to have all the money in the world for me to live. I want to live every moment of my life.
Great.
That
is very, very great. And I could relate when you were talking about the influence that your parents had, on you as a child. I remember also growing up as a child in Sokoto, that every Sunday after the church service, my father would just bump everybody in the car and we'll go to the border towns and visit friends and go to the hotels. But that seed was sown in me, but I didn't get it. It probably wasn't watered.
No, because I'm not gender sensitive, but maybe children came along the way.
And maybe husband who wouldn't understand why you would like to. But you had, you have all of the
Actually, something funny happened. On our way to Budekatu Ranch, we got to Enugu, then we got to a gas station. We're about to, fill our tanks. Then a lady just saw, 5 bikers. She just got interested. I think she was coming from church. So they too were trying to fill up their tank. Then the woman came to meet us and, was sharing tracts with us and co. And the husband too came, leveled with us. And the woman said, telling the husband, they are going to Budekatu Ranch. Can you allow me to go with them?
Can you imagine? Does she have a bike? Would she have climbed on one of the...
No, she actually wanted one of us to play. She was... You could see that there was that strong interest, in her. And it was like, citing us and, the freedom that these guys are doing what they really want to do. Sort of like woke up something in her. Now, look at the scenario of that lady. She could go back to her life the way it was and things continue the way it is.
You can imagine.
Or that seed has been sown and has been slightly watered.
She puts more pressure.
She could put more pressure and try to say, let me do something about it. So it's actually up to her. Good. So like they say, we create our life. Where we are, we create it. It's up to us.
Sure, so true.
Yeah.
All right, we are Nigerians and you're talking so well about all that we've got around us that a lot of us do not even recognize, talk more of marketing to the rest of the world. So how can Nigeria leverage tourism as a key driver of economic growth?
Yeah, you see, first is there's domestic tourism. Like I remember Aliko Dangote, I mean, the richest man in Africa, he said it one time when federal government was actually trying to bring in foreign investors. And he said, if local investors are not investing in their country, why will foreign investors come invest when your local investors are running away?
Wisdom.
So you need to first get the local investors to invest. Then it is actually the footprint of the local investors that the foreign investors are going to follow. So now, we as Nigerians, we need to develop our own domestic tourism. People like you and I, Nigerian, let's wake up, leave our comfort zone, leave our houses, go explore all these places, talk about it, share the story. That is what will bring in people. So, but if you see the federal government or maybe a state government start trying to promote their tourism potential abroad, I see some on CNN, and I wonder, who will want to come when, what word of mouth stories sells far better than what you see on above the line media or below the line medias. So we need to develop our own domestic tourism. And it's not a very big deal to do. Put in incentives that encourage people to want to go.
Such as?
Incentives like the one given to the biking community by the Obude Cattle Ranch Management. We're actually, just to talk about this, I and some group of friends also, we're planning to visit Yankari Game Reserve and Mambila Plateau next month. We're already talking to the management of the facility we're going to be staying, and they're also offering some discounts to us. When people like us go there, we're going to share the story. Maybe 10 people will go, they too will share the story. So you can begin to see the ripple effect. It's not a light switch that will happen in one day. But if we begin to do it, certainly there'll be a multiplier effect. So I think that is what we need to do. Focus more on domestic tourism, developing it. We Nigerians appreciating what we have. And I think not being like just because I'm a biker, but I think bikers are one of the very strong force you can actually use to develop a tourism. When you see a bike, if a power bike passes here,
it catches you. Everybody
catches you.
Yes.
If they ask you maybe 3 days later, did the power bike pass here? You will remember.
True.
But if I ask you how many cars passed there this morning, who cares?
That's true.
So you see, those kind of things sticks in our memory. True. And when you find people who actually, normally, yes, I'm a biker. Bikers are very interesting people. We are great guys.
I know.
So
great guys, I know.
Imagine the power of the bike, the image around it, and the passion around it. Imagine the guys on it, and imagine the power of the story that we can tell. When you put all this together, it tells the story so much richer, and it lasts. Longer in people's psyche, in our minds.
Okay. All right, so you're talking from the perspective of the biker and what the biking industry, if I can use that word, a community can do, to boost our tourism centers. Now, I do know that even the federal government, there's a Ministry of Tourism in place, So what improvements now do you think are necessary to make Nigeria a top tourist destination besides, what you have talked about? Now, there's a ministry that has been set. It's always been there. What should they be doing now?
Well, you see, one, I don't really know what the ministry is doing now, but if you ask me based on a guy on the ground who goes to all these places on his own, who experiences it, I see a lot of things that the ministry can do. And some of them, let me also use the Obude Cattle Ranch that we went to. We saw a lot, the cattle ranch actually needs some.
Okay,
that's the footage of the mountain area view. Okay, we went with the drone, so we captured that with the drone while there. Wow. So if you look at the ranch, federal government tried, because the road to the mountain, I think, was done by federal government, despite not being a federal road. But, because you see all the road sign, the construction signpost that was done by federal government. So the road is okay now. Then number 2, but they can't just stop there. Right. The ranch has been contracted out. The cable car is still not working. Some of the chalet needs renovation. The conference center needs renovation. Also, you see, the federal government can come in, or the State Ministry of Tourism can come in, partner, and not just stand away. Probably maybe be sort of can bring in investors. Because yes, there has been concession out to people, but the pace of things happening there is pretty slow. Then also, when they do that, they actually need to partner with biking community, I would say that. Then also maybe automotive community. Then find a way to get these people to come, because it is the story they share that is going to inspire other people. I remember when I did a video, a lot of people, actually I did a video about my review of Obude Cattle Ranch. Yes, and I did that basically because everything I read about it was false.
Wow.
About, the state of the resort and everything. It was totally false.
So imagine.
I was compelled that, no, I need to tell the actual story of what I saw.
And that's the information on online for a lot of people to access.
So I posted that, and when I shared that, a lot of people, so many people kept coming back to me. How about this? How about this? This. And I can hear some of my friends were telling me, oh, I too want to go there. I want to do this. Okay. Those are some of those kind of things. And government can actually encourage people by partnering. So, you group, come in here, maybe we'll give you 50% discount.
And there's a diaspora department somewhere, and Easter, Christmas, special seasons, a lot of Nigerians come home. Instead of going to their villages and just staying in their mansions that they visit once in a year, the ministry can find a way to rally these people, to go around and get the true story of our tourist centers, and share that story when they go back home, kind of.
It's true. It's also an idea they can do, but I'll still go back to what I said is the local people first need to talk about it. Because if I come into a country and you want to take me, the truth is, let's face the fact, when you're outside Nigeria, a lot of people don't say positive things about this country.
That's true.
So people already come with that mindset, and they're like highly security conscious. So, but when local people keep talking about things like this, when, people from the diaspora community comes into the country, it's like, it softens, it sort of like reduces the level of, apprehension and concern about it. So the government should still work, the respective ministries should still work with local organizations, the biking community, the automotive community, even the cycling community. There used to be a sport, the Obudu Mountain Race.
Yeah.
What has happened? What has happened to it?
A competition.
This kind of thing are actually what is going to bring people back. And that's what, the respective ministry can actually key into to help, revamp and improve tourism in this country.
Okay, and so you are still watching Today with John and Helen live, and Kunle Adeyanju, the Lionheart, is still here after he has been to Obudu and enjoyed and seen for himself the true situation, unlike what is being peddled online. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we will be wrapping up this conversation with him. Thanks for being there, and don't go away.
I think it's imperative to do this review on Obudu Cattle Ranch, now known as the Obudu Mountain Resort. I was at the resort on the 19th of January, that was on Sunday, to the 21st, that's Wednesday of January. I spent 3 nights at the resort, and those are very beautiful 3 nights with beautiful memories, beautiful experiences. And that blew my mind beyond what I expected, by planning to go for the experience, the adventure on the mountain resort. First, Obudu Cattle Ranch is located on the Obudu Plateau. It's on the Plateau. The Plateau is close to the Cameroonian border, and it's about 65 kilometers to the Obudu town itself, and about 110 kilometers to Ogoja. So, and the elevation of the Plateau itself is about 5,200 feet above sea level. So there, because of the elevation, the height, the climate is semi-temperate. My review on the facility will stand on probably 4 legs or 4 pivots. So the first one will be access to the resort, getting there. The second one will be the state of the facility. The third one one is from Calabar, which people say about 6 hours. I don't really know about that because I haven't been there through the Calabar axis.
All right, there's more of that. From time to time, we will let you see the rest of that conversation and the review of Obudu Cattle Ranch, courtesy the Lion Heart. But he's still here in the studio, and we have a few more questions for him before we say thank you for being here today. Now, many Nigerians see tourism as luxury, thing for the rich, the affluent. I mean, when you really are struggling with 3 square meals and comfortable accommodation and all of that, who's talking about riding through Nigeria and getting to know what is beautiful or not beautiful about Nigeria? How can we change this mindset and encourage local tourism?
Well, you see, yes, a lot of people say that. They say things like that tourism is for the rich. But I don't really think so, because even if we look at what the not so rich, people who don't have that much, they do. Go during festive period, you see them going over to the beach, the bar beach. You don't need so much money to go to the bar beach in Lagos. That's also a form of tourism, because they are, experiencing some of those tourist infrastructure that we have in this country.
Okay.
Yes, if we look at tourism, can be very expensive, but there are different levels of tourism.
Sure.
If you decide to go to places like Obudu Cattle Ranch, Mambila Plateau, Yankari Game Reserve, of course, it's going to cost more money to do that.
Okay.
And depend on how you want to go there. You can go on budget, or you can go on, like, I really want to have a good time. You can go on budget and say, okay, yes, I'm going to ride there, but I'm going to go with my tent. I'm going to be camping. Or you can say, no, I don't do the camping. I want to stay in the resort. I want to have this comfort and coherent. So there are different levels. And so the point is, people cannot wait until you have all the money before you go out and explore those things you want to see. Because if you look at it, if you don't do it and you keep, it's like you keep just working and saying, oh, I'm saving. Like they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
The second best time is
right
now.
now.
So with the little you have, just do what you can.
And I guess that's why it's about passion. If you haven't got it, then if you load your whole house with all the money in the world, you will not be thinking about that.
It's true.
Don't see relevance.
The thing with is, even though you mentioned the word passion, one thing I hear a lot of people say, and I just wonder, you hear people said, I'm finding my passion. I'm looking for my passion. And I wonder, was it lost?
I wonder, and
your
for how long are you
not
searching?
Lost. So why are you finding? You discover your passion.
Okay.
And it's actually by going ahead to do those things. And like the story I shared about my parents, when they took me out and began to show me those things. And I realized I love these things like this. I discovered that. We've all gone through moments where, things just happen and we say, oh, I kind of like this.
Sure.
What happened afterwards? Did you develop the passion? Did you grow the passion?
Did you take the necessary step, action?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my point.
All right. Finally, a Rotarian with a big heart for charity and all of that. How has your adventure, cycling, climbing and all of it, how has it contributed to charity? What's the polio story and status at this point?
Yeah, we're polio zero in Nigeria. We're certified polio free. But the last time I was on your show, I talked about still going to do another ride for end polio. Now make polio history actually in the world. And that's still planned. Well, supposed to be this year, but due to some business issues, we have some little delay at the business side of things. So I have to push it to next year. It's still going to happen, but now it's taking me to India. I'm going to be riding to India. So yes, now, how does this actually help to improve charity? Now, the point is this, for me, when I do all this adventure that I do, I kind of I commercialize my adventure. I tell my story. I write my books. Yes, I make some income from it. And those income, I share part of it in giving back to the community.
Okay.
So I'm able to use that through the foundation to sponsor my foundation to actually touch on the lives of people. And I can tell you some of those things we are doing in my foundation. It's we are donating a 115-seater IT hub to a secondary school, and that's fully funded, fully built by Lionheart Foundation. That's what we are doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have a few more questions, but the time is totally out. Now, this is the platform for you. This is your home. When there's something new and fresh and interesting, you know you can always come here.
Sure.
And we will blow it out, we'll shout it, about it. Thank you for coming today. You have, for more indication, taken the wheel of your life in your hand. Passion. You're living your life to the fullest, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Helen.
All right, so Kunle Adeyanju there, inviting us all to explore the world, explore your environment, and live our dreams. After the break, we shall get you busy as we unveil the Agile Adventure with my next guest, Edu Ekpo. This is Today with John and Helen Live. We shall return with more. Please stay there.